What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
To me, banking for life means coming into the branch and always feeling welcome.
Being able to pick up the phone, knowing who you're talking to at the end of it.
The flexibility with banking options.
Having absolute faith in the people you're dealing with.
The Mako Rugby Roundup.
Welcome to the Mako Rugby Roundup, episode 16, coming to you from the Turf Hotel. And it's great to have returned to the seat. Les Edwards, nice to see you here, mate.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thanks to Stan and the team for hosting us. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for everything that's happening on this weekend. And it's great to have back. Now, I think this is third time. Now, is this the first time we've had 3 returns, Les? Is this the record?
I reckon.
Maybe Quinton.
Quinton McDonald's.
Maybe Quinton McDonald. So the Marlborough boys stepping up, actually. Nice to have you here, mate. All right, well, let's get it out the way. First question, a tough start, 37-7 to Bay of Plenty, away to last year's finalists, in fact, of a very good Bay of Plenty side. And as we heard pre-game, many of their players from last year, so some consistency there. But tell us about thoughts going into this game, and then obviously what you saw on the paddock, Gray.
So obviously disappointing performance first up from us. We were not under no impression, delusions around the strength of Bay of Plenty. I think they probably rolled out maybe 12 of their starting 15 are super players, and as you mentioned, they're a pretty settled team. So we knew what we were in for, and it's as simple as we just lost the physical battle. We lost both sides of the ball. Bay of Plenty out-muscled us, and rugby can be a simple and brutal game at times. If you lose that physical battle, then doesn't matter who you're playing against, you're in for a tough one. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Because my impression from what I saw is, and we'll talk about the squad, good build-up, presumably pre-season went pretty well. It was going to be a tough start, but as a coach, what, I guess there's nothing you can do, but what goes through your mind with all the things that you're training on the park, but then when you get to the park, it just doesn't quite come together.
Obviously you want to win. So,
yes.
So, obviously there's that disappointment, but also like we know you don't win or lose the competition in round one. And so we're certainly not going to hit the panic button or anything like that. Like I say, we have to acknowledge Bay of Plenty and the way that what they brought to the game. And I think I wouldn't say we learnt lessons. I think we got reminded of some lessons. And I'm really excited about the week ahead, and I'm actually really stoked that we've got a 6-day turnaround, because it means that we're forced to learn fast. We're forced to get on with things, and I'm pretty excited around how the boys are going to bounce back.
So you went into that game though without Antonio Chalfoun, probably your one of your 2 premier locks, and also Sione Havili Talitui. So two really staunch fellows. I got the impression that Bay of Plenty sort of targeted your forward pack with their absence, and certainly piled into you for the first 5 minutes. So that phase on your line must have really took it out of you guys.
Look, I mean, we've known for a while now with Antonio and Sione their unavailability, and we had going into the game, we had complete confidence in the guys who were taking the field. I certainly I wouldn't attribute their absence to our performance. I just think as a collective, we probably just weren't there mentally. And like I say, you talk to it again, the physicality of Bay of Plenty. Unfortunately, we weren't able to match that. So we've talked about that, and I'm sure that we'll address that for the coming weekend.
Yeah, your scrum was pretty decent, but 6 lost lineouts. Was that a work on during the week?
I mean, it's always work on. It's probably one of the cornerstones of any game of footy. So I know that the boys put a lot of time and energy into that aspect. And a few new combinations there that hopefully will be better for that experience last week. And to be like not into making excuses, but we probably are a game or two shy. We've had a pretty limited but pre-season. That was the same for the Bay. We're probably a game or two short, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So the physicality of that game is good prep for the remaining 9 games in regular season.
100%. And like rugby's rugby. It's a physical game, and the team that wins that physical battle more often than not will have ascendancy. So but to be honest, we acknowledge we were far from our best, and that first 65 minutes of the game was still in the hunt. I think it was 10-7, 13-7, and like the game was on a knife edge.
Well, that was my impression. Like, I listened to it actually. It helped me get through painting the fence. It was a long fence, so lucky it was a good long game. But my impression was obviously Bay Plenty had a hot start, but then from then on, all I could hear was you guys piling on the pressure, but it was just those little things. They obviously defended well, but those little mistakes on the line, or a penalty going Bay Plenty's way. But it looked like a lot of the time you guys were putting the pressure on, and then it was just that end of the game where it kind of got away, a couple of loose tries, and perhaps by then tired legs. Who knows? Yeah,
spot on. And we got over the line 3 times, I think. And again, if we had executed those, momentum might have shifted a little bit, and who knows? But
just one of those games.
Yeah,
one of those games. Yep,
absolutely. Just some lost passes at the last moment or held up over the line. You were in the game despite that final scoreline for quite some time. But then, I think your point about Legbury might be accurate, because a lot of defending had to go on, didn't it, by our lads?
Yeah.
Have you got those stats? I mean,
the stats don't. It was pretty even, to be fair.
Was it?
Yeah, it was pretty even. Yep.
Yeah.
And as they say, flush the dunny, move on. And then we've got Manawatū this weekend. It's the first home game, so everyone's looking forward to this. And it's earlier kickoff, 4 o'clock kickoff, isn't it, Les? So
4:30, yeah.
4:30. And so, from my impression, it's going to be a big crowd. Manawatū, they had a win against North Harbour. We didn't pick that, actually. We thought North Harbour might be too strong, but Manawatū, the Turbos, looking quite good. And so a chance to be on the home turf. Hopefully the weather's all right. There might be a little bit of rain Friday morning, but then I think the weekend's not looking too bad. So it could be a good crack. Trafalgar Park will be pretty good. So, again, never easy, is it? So tell us about going into this game against Manawatū.
Yeah, you're right. We've got to bounce back quick, like I've alluded to. And Manawatū certainly no mugs. I think if you look at their 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, they're right up there with any other spine, if you like, in the competition. So they've all got super and international experience. So again, we need to be, we can't be missing mentally on Saturday. We have to be right on. So looking forward to it. Boys are pretty pumped to be running out on Trafalgar Park at home ground. So
yeah. Same coaching staff as last year. So we've got Hawani McDonald, Aaron Dundon, Tom Marshall. So some consistency there. So obviously that worked quite well. Was that something you guys were looking forward to building on this year for this season?
You did right. Yep. So we get along pretty well together, and we're quite a collaborative group. And even though we have our own areas and portfolios, it's quite an open coaching group where we all sort of pitch in and help each other out and have ideas and brainstorm stuff. So that pretty happy with how that dynamic worked last year. So pretty keen to continue it for this year.
And I guess for the coaches as well. I mean, the players, we said this might be a stake in the ground against Bay of Plenty. And when you get a bit of a kick in the butt, it soon gets you pretty focused as a coaching crew as well, don't you? Not that you weren't coaches pre-season, but if you go through a game like that, it makes you navel gaze pretty quickly, doesn't it?
100%. You always look in the mirror before you look in your eyes. But it's round one. It's round one. And we acknowledge that the competition's a sprint. It's a short campaign, but there was enough there for us not to, like I say, we're not going to
Yeah.
drop an atom bomb on an ant, so to
So
speak.
you-
We're not.
You're looking at the positives, aren't you? You're looking at
Yeah.
those four tries that were there or thereabouts. And
Yeah,
chance
we're
to
looking.
hit.
We like I say, we acknowledge that Bar Plenty were better than us on the day, but and we were far from our best. So we just fix up a few areas, and it could have, who knows.
So do you look at wholesale changes, no changes, just changes brought about by injury at this stage?
There won't be wholesale changes.
No.
There'll be a couple of changes through injury and a couple of so the forced ones, but no, nothing too crazy. If you guys come back online for us, which would be exciting.
So I know, obviously a few of the boys will be licking their wounds, but on the whole, with the overall squad, are you pretty happy with what you've ended up with?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yep. No, it's one thing having it on this side.
That's right.
As we saw on Saturday, it's it's another thing putting it out in the park.
A couple of new faces. Can you tell us about new faces to the Mako? A couple that we should perhaps keep a bit of an eye on.
Who you after, mate?
Well, your lock.
Yep.
Lopeti.
Yep.
Faifui.
Faifua. Yeah.
Yeah, Faifua, is it?
Well done,
Thank
Les,
you, mate. Yeah. It seems like a pretty decent sized chap and a hell of a nice guy off the park.
Yeah.
Did he bring some things to the game that you liked?
Yeah, like he, as you say, he's a big lump of a kid. He's come from the Force. Obviously, we've got a few links over to the Force, and he's a guy that probably hasn't played a hell of a lot of footy this year. That was pretty keen for a run around, and he's kind of the I guess the physique of the type of player we're after. Probably a like for like for a guy like Max Hicks, who's obviously taken his trade overseas. So he's really fitted in well. He's fitted in well with the lads. He's got a great work ethic. He's keen to learn. And I still think he's finding his feet. It's tough, he's coming from a different environment and arriving here. So he'll get better, I think, just with game time. Sure.
Tasman Mako, was it another one fresh into the squad?
Yeah, so Tamapi, he's been with Moana for a couple of years. Obviously, we had Sam Molly on our roster, and Sam's currently involved with Tonga and the PNC. So we had to move pretty quick and find a ready-made replacement for Sam. So Tamasi's filled that hole for us. So again, he's a young fella that hasn't had a hell of a lot of footy this year, but is fitted really well into our environment and keen to learn. And very grateful for the opportunity.
In his spot, you've also got Eli Odenrine returning.
Yes, so obviously Eli's been away with the New Zealand 20s campaign, pretty successful campaign they had. So again, that put a bit of stress on that specialist position, with Eli being away and being unavailable for the first part of the season. So Eli comes back online for us this weekend. So
Nice.
Really exciting to see him continue his growth in a pretty crucial spot for us.
Brody Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
No relation to Dane Robinson,
No.
apparently, from up north. Is that right?
Yeah, so he's been here for, I think this is Brody's third year in our region. So Brody's come through our academy system, through our club rugby system, and he's part of our group this year, and he's pretty exciting. He's certainly quick enough. So again, he's a guy who's learning his trade.
And fresh out of college, Harry Inch.
Yeah.
So from last year, we interviewed one of our most popular podcasts, actually.
Good lad, isn't he?
Yeah. So
For your hunting stories.
yeah, well, I don't. We did.
We talked farming and hunting.
talked
He's
Wanderers,
pretty keen.
and his
He's
brother
a
plays.
reasonable guy.
I
Isn't
think
he?
his brother plays as well. Is that right? Or he used to play, but yeah, keen Wanderers man. I think is that right?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, so great to retain him in the region.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
great, and that's, I guess that's what this the beauty of this team is you get a kid like Harry coming through with a bit of promise, and this is another step in his growth and his development to be in this group, and he's pretty lucky to have some pretty classy guys to learn off.
So will he stay with your squad, or will he get some time in with the development team?
So Harry's he's a fully contracted Mako,
Okay.
so he's with us full time. We acknowledge that Harry's still a young man in his rugby journey, so he's still learning learning his trade. So part of that is getting rugby. So if it's not with the top team, he'll be playing for the development team, and yeah, sure.
And the same for Cooper Roberts, who's a Marlboroughan, a good centre, played New Zealand under-20s.
Yeah.
The same sort of conditions for him.
Yeah, pretty much. He's a fully contracted marker. He's probably had a year or two more under his belt than say Harry. But he certainly, I'm sure Coopers will feature for the market at some stage this year, but he'll need footy as well through that development program. But he's obviously had a fair share of rugby too with that under-20 stuff. But he's an exciting prospect for the future as well.
And another new player for the squad, we were saying potential rookie of the year, Mitchell Drummond, joins the squad. So great to have him home. And I guess that's what it feels like for everyone. It's been quite a few years since he's played here, but obviously this is where his roots are from. How's he feeling at being home and being in the environment, and also a player like that with his experience? What's he brought to the table?
Drummy's been really good. Like Drummy's, he's always had that aspiration of coming home and playing for this team. I just like the way he's gone about his work. Like he's certainly wanted to earn the respect of the group first, so he isn't come in and
bossed around
or said this is who I am, blah blah blah. He's quietly just sat back and done his job and learnt and earned the respect of the group. And I'm sure as the season progresses and now that obviously Finlay's involved with the All Blacks, we'll be asking more from Drummy. Both on and off the field, and I've just been really impressed with his professionalism. So,
there's no doubt he's got the calibre. Sure. And the experience and the professionalism. So will he do a fair degree of mentoring for Mason Lund and a new lad brought up, Will Thornelly?
Yeah. In his own way, he's not too overbearing with that stuff, but he's pretty open and forthcoming, offering advice, and so it's been good.
And I know this is Canterbury, but Lou Chapman, I thought had a great game for Canterbury. Played well, didn't he?
He did,
from the Mako state. I mean, he's a Canterbury boy, but he's played in the region, for quite a bit. So that kind of opened up an opportunity for him, didn't it, with Canterbury?
Yeah. It was a hard watch seeing him in a red black jersey, I must say. But
That's right.
No, it's good for Louis that he's getting that start, and he's a very good player.
Yeah. So as far as going into this weekend with Manawatū, no major injuries or exclusions at this stage. Fairly consistent with the lineup, you would say? Or?
Our starting hooker from the weekend, Josh Tehera, he's been suspended for a few weeks
a few weeks, man.
Yeah.
What did he do?
So he got yellow carded for a tackle, got cited.
Oh, that's right.
And then he's under suspension for 3 weeks, I think. So obviously that's forced a change in that space. But other than that, everybody
you've got Eli back.
Yeah,
Andy.
Yeah. So other than that, I think everybody's on deck and fit, ready to go.
Hey, mate. It's always a part of the after. When you begin your week, you announce your team awards. Can you let our listeners the team awards, the internal team awards? Mark,
yes.
Can you tell our listeners what those awards are and who got them from the weekend?
So we have a Mako Grit Award, which is, I guess, the player who, this is decided by the players and management on the day post game. So that goes to the player that displays grit, I suppose.
Toughness.
It's probably more a defensive award. So our Mako Grit Award, unsurprisingly, went to Ethan Blackadder on the weekend. And then we have a Mako Man Award, Player of the Day, again voted by the players and management. They went to Dave Havili. And we also have an award for the guy who maybe wasn't in the 20 starting 15. So the player who displays the best qualities.
The old Sparky Award.
Yeah. So it could be a guy who's not even in this 23 or a guy who comes off the bench. But this week it went to guy Tom Haywood, who pretty cool story. He's come up here, he's played for Waimea, he's earned his stripes, and he got a late call up. I think one of our lads got injured on captain's run or the day before captain's run, so he pretty much had to down tools from putting in garage doors and learn his stuff and come on the bench for us. And
cool.
he came on and did the job for us in the last sort of 10 minutes. So
Nice.
Made his debut.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. We haven't had a chance to catch up with Latoya, but obviously it's the first FPC women's game against Wellington. So any observations from the outside of how the girls' prep has gone for the season so far?
To be fair, I've pretty much had my head down, bum up in our stuff. But like, the conversations I have with Latoya in the office as we whip past each other, they're pretty excited, and they're in full swing, and looking forward to seeing how they go.
So kick-off time for that, Les?
2:05 p.m. on Saturday at Trafalgar Park, followed by the lads at 4:35. So get along early. Watch this double header. The ladies will appreciate your support, but they've named the squad, so it's all on for the FPC.
And tough start Wellington, so they'll be a strong side, but
Dead right.
be a good measure for them. So make sure you get down and support the FPC team. We hope to catch up with a member of that team in the not too distant future. Well, thanks very much, mate, for coming along and giving us some insight into the squad and a bit of a debrief of the game, and of course going into Manawatū. We wish you all the best for that preparation.
Pleasure, thank you.
Now, stick around for us a little bit. We are going to talk NPC while we've got the knowledge in the room. So quick results, and Waikato defeated Auckland. And it was pretty much a last-minute try, wasn't it? Sapawanga going through and getting the goods. So a couple of old heads in that Waikato team actually playing quite well. So good result for them.
A game probably Auckland shouldn't have lost with the lead that they had with the last 10 minutes to go, but 3 tries to Waikato got them the win. So, hey, no easy games, are they?
No easy games. I didn't lose too much sleep about Auckland losing, just
to be quiet.
Manawatū 38 over North Harbour 25. We didn't pick that one, but
that's an upset.
So Manawatū this weekend against the Mako, Canterbury 33 against Wellington, and I thought Wellington looked all right, but Canterbury they looked classy, didn't they? They looked a strong side, and Louis playing a good role there. Otago 24 over Southland, Stag Day, so big turnout, but Otago just too strong, too classy. Taranaki 23 over Northland 3, so Taranaki again, strong side. Bay of Plenty 37-7 over the Mako, and then Hawke's Bay 54-14 over Counties Monaco, so big win by the Magpies. And another strong side, so they're going to be one to watch this year.
Going into this comp, we did think that Hawke's Bay and Bay of Plenty were two of the stronger sides on paper for sure. So that good wins for them. Taranaki keeping the Ramfurly Shield, of course.
Quick picks then for this round. Northland versus Southland, so top of the country versus bottom of the country. That is in Northland. So what do we think?
Me?
Yeah.
I'd go Northland at home.
At home, the Taniwhara home.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, North Harbour versus Taranaki. That is at North Harbour Stadium.
That's on a Saturday, 2:00 game, right?
Yeah.
4 games on the Saturday.
Yeah.
North Harbour versus Taranaki. I like Taranaki. I think they're a very good team. I'll tip them in that one.
Same.
Then we've got another big game, Waikato versus Wellington. It's at FMG Stadium in the Waikato.
Tough one, that one.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty tight. Pretty hard read on both those teams this early in the season, but draw.
That's fair. Fair call. But I'll take Waikato just at home.
Canterbury versus Auckland, another massive game. So this is in Canterbury, Apollo Project Stadium.
I think Canterbury, again, alongside those teams that you mentioned, probably one of the teams to beat. So I think they'll be too strong at home.
Yeah, having seen the games on the weekend, I agree with that. I think Canterbury looked pretty impressive, and what looked like a vulnerability in the halves proved not to be. So I think they're now a complete squad. They should win against Auckland.
Wasn't it good to see Canterbury and Wellington at Pararua Park? in the regions. And unfortunately, the Canberra angle just showed, a few people on the other sideline. But I did imagine there was a stadium quite full, and one person talked about the fact it was just a 10-minute walk up the road, and they got to see it, walk up and watch an NPC game.
Been to see us play there at Pararua Park, and it is a nice venue, and it's close to the ground. You're close to the game. You can stand along the hoardings. You get a good watch, no doubt about it. And I think just better than the Cape Town for this.
Yeah, and even reflecting on our game the weekend, it was a beautiful day up in Tauranga there, and great crowd, great atmosphere. So it was good.
So it'd be good to see the more and more NPC games being taken into those outer regions, wouldn't it? Just
more smaller grounds. I think it's what we're really saying here, and that's the beauty of Trafalgar Park. You go to Trafalgar Park, you've got a great view. And Lansdowne, our two grounds. But it's correct. Our two grounds provide you a real good, close, intimate watch of a game of rugby.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing, presumably, it's cheaper than hiring the big stadiums. But on the other side, potentially, you could get just as big a crowds at those regional centres. So I hope they persist with that. Without going into depth in it, the championship All Black squad was announced. So any thoughts on that? It's not too different from the French thing, apart from the fact there's one or two names which would have been a bit of a surprise.
Well, it's really cool for Finlay to get a call up and a trip to Argentina, which I'm sure he'll be going on. The other ones that I'm pleased about would be, I think that Kyle Preston is also a very good halfback. So what they're doing now is they're going to create some depth in that position. There'll be 5 really good halfbacks available in due course. And the fact that Leroy Carter got a call up. We've talked about him throughout Super Rugby. He's got pace to burn, doesn't he? And he's been given a role as a utility back, but I could see him making great inroads down a wing. He's just an accomplished speedster, isn't he?
Oh, he is fast, but he's also quite strong, and he's massive work rate. So I think he's come through that sevens background, so he's pretty fit.
Well, he tore through our midfield, and for one particular break late in the game and scored. So he is an accomplished player. So happy for him. I think that helps again. And I'm looking at this from the point of view of 2027, just getting the right sort of players with the experience they need to make up that World Cup squad in a couple of years' time. So lots to like about the injury cover replacements there.
So 2 guys I didn't really know a lot about prior to them being announced in the All Black squad. So one was Fabian Holland, who's just become a sensation. Now, obviously I watched some Super Rugby, but I didn't really focus on Fabian, probably because the Highlanders potentially, I don't follow the Highlanders too much, but their season wasn't fantastic, but they obviously packed him out. And the other one is Simon Parker from the Chiefs. So what do we know about him? I haven't really noticed him, even though I've been watching the Chiefs.
So the guy Holland's been on, I think he's been on their radar for quite some time now. Right. Kind of just waiting till he's become eligible. But I think we saw in that French series, I think he might have played some of the most minutes of anybody. So he's a big man with a big engine. So I think he's almost a like for like for Brodie Retallick. So I think he's been really good, and I think it's there's a shortage of big guys like that in New Zealand.
He looks like a 100-gamer to me.
Yeah. And the other guy, Parker, is obviously a guy who, again, he's a big man. Who can pretty good line out forward, but I think he's got that physical presence. So obviously that's what they're looking for.
It's that number 6, big 6.
Yeah, it is. And obviously a lot of people were talking about Ethan, obviously. But so that's why it's just a bit of a surprise, because for me, from an outsider, Simon Parker wasn't a name that was in the hot headlights. Just goes to show that the coaches are really navel-gazing the teams and seeing that talent coming through. And as you point out, probably had an eye, like Ruben Love. They've had an eye on him apparently for quite a long time. Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah. Well, we're not going to say, obviously it's great to have Ethan in the Mako, but every time we talk to Ethan, it's like, I just like enjoy my rugby, playing with my mates. I work hard. If the opportunity's there, I grab it. And that was the same with, with Christie when he came in. It was just like every opportunity gets a bonus in their career. So the attitude towards working hard and playing with what's in front of you is it's pretty healthy these days, isn't it? And guys,
I guess that it's the old story of controlling what you control. I mean, they knowing those two guys, Ethan and Red, they play with their heart on their sleeve, and they train hard, they work hard, they play hard, and that's what they can control. And ultimately, like, coaches are going to make their selections, their decisions. All the players can do is do what those two lads do consistently, and then it's up to the coaches to make their minds up.
And a great story for Tomasi. So obviously only had the opportunity of putting him on the park once, and off he goes again. So that's a great story too, isn't it?
Oh, you mean Jim?
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah.
Timothy.
Yeah, no, it was great to have him back for that game. But again, it's a big reason for this team to exist, and all the provincial teams to provide those opportunities for lads to go on to higher honours. So, whilst it would be great to have those lads playing for us, it's pretty awesome to see them playing the black jersey.
While you're running around on the grass, doing training runs,
I wouldn't say running.
You're walking around the grass. You must try and steer clear of Jim. You wouldn't like to be accidentally clipped by him, eh? Is he made of concrete, that fellow? Because the way he hits people and they bounce back.
Granite,
yeah.
Fijian volcanic rock.
Yeah. Amazing.
Now, what we have got because the car company Nelson Div 2 comp is pretty much done, but the Marlborough comp continues, the Senior A, and it's not often we have some inside knowledge in the room. So we're going to go through the results and the lineup for this weekend.
Don't know how much inside knowledge I have, but I'll give it a crack.
So Waitangi defeated Central at Lansdowne Park 36-28. Now I can't remember. You're Central, aren't you?
No.
What are you?
No, hell no, mate.
When
I nearly reached across the deck.
Did he? So I can't. When we interviewed your background,
no, I'm a Harlequins man.
Oh, you're a Harlequins man. Oh, right. Sorry, my mistake.
So we'll get to them.
So Waitangi 36 over Central 28, and then here we go. Renwick, unfortunately, the Harlequins going down 33-19. That was at Lansdowne Park, and then Awatiri, close one actually against Pelorus Havelock, 23-19. So the fixtures for this weekend, here we go. Awatiri versus the Harlequins at the Seddon Domain.
One of the great grounds in Marlborough, that one. Carhorn Valley, yeah.
Right. Okay, is that right?
Yeah.
You hear the car horns down the valley.
Oh, all the cars park up the side. I've had the odd game out there as well, so no, that'll be.
And we're tipping Harlequins over.
I presume you're tipping Harlequins.
You have to.
You'd have to.
I got a foot in both camps because I had a spin out of Arbitrary at one stage.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you go. Muturi versus Waitangi at Awarua Park.
Yeah, I think Waitangi are the team to beat in that competition. So
yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Pelorus Havelock versus Central. That Havelock Domain.
Or at home Havelock.
Oh.
That could be
an upset.
Could be a factor. Yeah, upset.
Do you think it might be an upset?
Yeah, go with the Bojack.
Yes. And then we've got Waitangi at the top. As you say, quite clear, aren't they, at the moment? Renwick in second, Central third, fourth, Awatiri. Not too far behind Muturi. So it's I'm not too sure actually how many more rounds to go, but that fourth spot getting quite close. Harlequins, actually, they get a couple of results. They're not off the beaten track either. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so let's talk college rugby, and it was the finals, and unfortunately, Waimea combined going down to Roncalli, Araraki combined 42-25. So Roncalli obviously just too strong there, Les.
Yeah, it was a tough day for us first 15 watchers in our region on the weekend. So Waimea combined, just Roncalli too strong, clearly by that scoreline, 42-25. But Waimea had a good year, and their coaches and their players can be pretty happy.
They did have some great results this.
Their season isn't over either, though. So.
No, third and fourth playoff. It's on Saturday, 1:00 at Hanmer Springs, so they'll be able to hit the hot pools after. They take on Christchurch High School, second 15, which will be a strong team. So yeah, good luck for them, and that's to see if they can pick up a podium place.
Yep.
Then on the weekend we had another two finals, and Nelson College, although they had a good recent result, I think it was against Christ, wasn't it? They went down to Christchurch Boys High School, who've been really leading the charge this year, 37-35. So, geez, it was close. And I watched some of that game, and College did play well.
Yeah, I too watched it. It was a game of tit for tat, actually. One team would score and the other would reply. And it just came down to, the last minute. And unfortunately for Nelson College, a bridge too far. So, but they can be pleased. They finished in third. They lost to the second place team. And they damn near won it.
Yeah, they did, and quite a young side this year, isn't it?
They're a lot of year 12s.
Yeah. So then they, we'll get to that, and then Christ College. Now this is a team that's been bubbling away. Then they defeated College, and we thought, geez, that's a bit of an upset. Well, look at this: Christ College 36 defeated Marlborough Boys 34. Wouldn't have picked that. That was at Lansdowne Park, and so I think. On paper, everyone was thinking it might be Marlborough's year. Certainly, they'd have to do it against Christchurch Boys, but didn't quite do the goods. I didn't see the game, but any reports on that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we were away, so we didn't get to see the game. But Marlborough Boys undefeated all year.
Yes.
And I knew that. I was aware they were going into that game with pretty high hopes, and it was pretty close. And I think like the Nelson game, came down to literally the last play of the game. I think. The Christ College lad had to take a conversion literally from the sideline, and he slotted it.
Yeah, right.
Under a lot of duress from the crowd, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Marlborough will be gutted. They've been building for this for quite some time now, but it is pretty promising though that we've still got these the two colleges top of the south right there or thereabouts, so that's promising for the future.
So as a Mako coach, obviously you go to a lot of the games throughout the season, the first 15. Do you do you have a little notebook where you're writing in names of future prospects that can be brought through the system?
Yeah, we have depth charts across our region, and some of those fellas put their hands up through first 15 rugby. But we're also aware too that, success at first 15 level doesn't automatically mean that they're going to be, there's still a lot of work to go on. And that's where we sort of get into our academy or our development programs and get them out to clubs and see how they progress after that. But yeah, for sure, certainly some guys put their hand up at that level.
So when they play each other, for example, remember earlier they played at Nelson College, a game that went to Marlborough in some in some interesting circumstances. So you watch those with a very keen eye. Do you get video footage and have a close look?
Yeah, and obviously we've got a development manager in Brendan Smith, who's our development manager. He keeps a pretty close eye on that stuff for us as well, and we've got pretty good relationships with both the coaches at all the colleges.
Yeah.
So we keep tabs on that.
So with three first 15 colleges, the future is looking bright with the new talent that's coming through.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think it was a good year for first 15 footy. I know they didn't quite make the number one spot, but. Yeah, I'm liking what I see with some of the kids running around.
Waimea combined had a great season, and then you got the two premiership teams, Marlborough and Nelson, who on Saturday at 12 o'clock play off for the third and fourth. I mean, the derby games are big. It was a massive one at Nelson College, And even though it's not for the actual premiership, this is going to be a massive game because it's basically pride on the line, isn't it? And it is at Marlborough Boys College.
Yeah, no, anytime those two teams meet, she's a ding dong.
Yeah.
And like obviously Marlborough will be, well, both teams will be hurting after last weekend, but obviously Nelson will be hurting after the win.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year and then the traditional game. So I just going back to the point around the strength of the players and that coming out of first 15. I think a big challenge for us as a union, and we're probably not alone in this challenge, is keeping those kids engaged in the game. And it might not necessarily be the kids that are sticking their hand up as potential superstars, but all those boys, because quite often you'll get kids coming out of first or second 15 rugby who are those late bloomers. So the challenge for us as a union is to keep them in the game and get them into club footy. And then I think the more, it's a bit of a numbers game, the more kids we can keep them in the game post first 15 will help those targeted boys develop, but also it'll allow for those boys who just develop a wee bit later.
Yeah.
They're really important for our game.
Couldn't agree more, Gray. I think that, for example, Maris Club, there's some boys in that in first 15 footy who may not be on the way to Crusaders Academy contract or whatever, but man, they're good players and they clubs would love to have them in their environment playing Div 2, Div 1, whatever it takes.
And I think Maris is a good example of, a lot of boys came out of the school system with big raps, and rightly so, because they were good at college. They come into a club competition, they're still learning their craft, and they get right through the academy. They come out the other end, and now we're just seeing the fruits of that. And you could rattle off a few names like young boy, Cooper Grant, who thankfully isn't playing for Canterbury after.
Yeah, that's right.
That's an example of a kid who, I wouldn't say a slow burn, but he's done his time, and now he's finally, well, not finally, but he's learned his craft, and he's coming good, and it doesn't happen straight away. You gotta go out, earn your stripes in clubland or wherever it is.
Tana Thompson and Lyndon Lyseni from college last year playing. Had some game time with first Div 1 rugby, and they are learning, and that'd be great experience for them. But they're potential late developers or early developers, really, because they're only 19.
They're still young, exactly. Last week, we rolled out Mason Lund off the bench and Tane Himopo, Nick Sawira, all those boys have come from the college system, but they're all good. They're all good players at school, but having the impression that you're a good player at school and you're a professional player the next year is not always the case. It is for some outliers, but quite often it's after 3 or 4 years of growth, physically, mentally, game understanding that they come right.
So clubs being able to find these lads some employment in the region and a reason to stay is fairly critical, and whatever the union can do to help would be great for rugby.
It's a whole lot of things. It's the employment thing. It's I just think it's providing a cool environment, environment the lads want to be part of, fun, because ultimately if it's fun, the boys will play. So it's got to be enjoyable, but they also have to experience challenge and growth as well. So the challenge for Tasman and probably clubs as well is to provide that, to keep our young fellas in the game.
Speaking of which, ex-Nelson College, Leicester, heard on the radio, just taking a little bit of a rest, a bit of time out. So any indications of when we might see him? Or
so obviously Leicester, he's been in France, and as we know over there, they play a lot of games of rugby, and a guy like Leicester who's pretty durable and he's obviously one of their superstars, was playing big minutes, and postseason was pretty banged up. So he only really finished playing club footy a month ago. So he needed time to move his life back to New Zealand, catch up with friends and family, and get settled down again, and just give his body a bit of a breather. So
what round are you looking at? Perhaps when you'll get him playing?
He wants something definitive.
You have to wait and see.
Watch this.
Will we see him for the market?
100%.
Yeah, cool.
I can guarantee you that.
Okay, I'm going to predict round 6.
Round 6.
You
want
go,
me to
Linda.
leave
Should I hope you?
No pressure, no pressure. Just okay. Quick comment: Australia versus British and Irish Lions. Australia were always going to be up for this game. I think it helped that it absolutely poured down. Had some friends that went to the game, and they must have got absolutely soaked. And then they had a lightning break. So how's that? I mean, you're in the heat of the battle, then you got to go and take some time out in the sheds and redo it all over again. That's the worst thing that can happen when you're all warmed up, ready to go. But Australia managed to hang in there. I thought Australia did play well. They battled hard. Were the Lions 100%? Had they won the series? Did they have the mindset? Do you think that they put it all in?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Australia improved greatly in the second and third tests. And man, Bledisloe Cup will be a very good challenge. That is, if they can keep this squad together, But the inclusion of Will Skelton into the second row. Did you watch this? Did you get a chance to watch?
Yeah, I didn't. I missed the last test.
Right.
The
Third
rain
one.
Yeah, but the other two are certainly good games, weren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
And it's amazing, when you get a quality side like the Lions, and Australia knowing that it was coming, how it's just lifted the whole standard of their rugby. And I think Joe Schmidt's done an awesome job with them, and it's certainly created a bit of an excitement over the ditch as well. So you're dead right. I think that Bledisloe will be a good series.
I mean, the thing about that Lions side was just the patience, wasn't it? I mean, it's a bit like the South African side. It's fairly even, and then just the machine starts to roll, and then over they go. And but I think they tried to do it in this third test, but Australia they were really up for this, especially for their halfback Nick White, isn't it? So
I thought the two halfbacks 1-2
Yeah.
when McDermott came on, that was a massive point of attack for them. And so look, I just think in the end, the Lions will be happy to come away with a 2-1 series win, and it could have very well gone the other way, given the circumstances of the second test. So the positives are that the Lions had a great time. They won the series. Finn Russell's proved himself to be a more than capable international first five. And for Australia, there's nothing but positives, They've got so many bright stars for the future. Their midfield, their halfbacks, the young first 5'8", Tom Liner, the forward pack, the back row, lots to like. So, man, I'm looking forward to the Rugby Championship.
It's going to be quite big. So look forward to that. We'll talk more about the All Blacks against Argentina next week. Just quick mention that the Black Ferns 15 went down to the Springbok pack, 41-24. So turn around there, and they've got a big rumbling forward pack that looks as though they did the job, which is traditional in South African rugby.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Gray. We appreciate you coming in, mate. Good luck for Saturday against Manawatū. Give our best to all the lads, and also give our best to the FPC team. They're taking on Wellington in the pre-season. Please get out there and support the girls. It's going to be a big day at Trafalgar Park. Don't forget you can get your tickets at marco.flickit.co.nz. You'll be there, Les. I'll be there in actual fact with a crew. So
yeah. Absolutely. I've got a crew coming, so we'll be in the East Stand stamping our feet and making as much noise as we can for your boys. Gray. Best wishes.
Appreciate it.
We really appreciate you coming in. Thanks very much.
No, sure, let's go.
Les, what, all Mako this weekend? Is there other stuff you'll be keeping an eye on?
All rugby clubs in the vicinity of Trafalgar Park, and there are two of us. We'll be opening our doors early, so come along and enjoy a drink before going to the game.
You'll be hosting. That's good point. All right. Thank you to Stan and the team at the Turf Hotel. Don't forget to check out their Facebook page for everything that's on this weekend. You can catch this and other podcasts on MBS Talk Nelson, our website, and our Facebook and Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and MBS Talk Nelson Digital Radio. Don't forget, if you would like to be involved in the show or be a sponsor, please get in touch. That's a wrap, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Mako Rugby Roundup.
The Mako Rugby Roundup. What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.